everyone, and welcome to my blog. I've got another episode of my Christmas card series, and we're going to use the cutest little snow globe image from Power Poppy. This one is called Snowglobe Greetings, and it's a digital stamp, so you can resize it to whatever your needs are. Mine is fairly small. It's about maybe 2.5 inches in height, but you can make him bigger. Today we're going to be using a stencil and some cool texture paste. This one happens to be a transparent glossy paste. Let's get started. So we're going to begin the front of our card with a die cut shape. This is a Lawn Fawn stitch rectangle die, and I've just put a little bit of adhesive on the back just to keep it locked down so we can do some stenciling here. I'm going to position my stencil right about there, and in order to have it remain in its place, we are going to use some medical tape just to help him secure down. There we go, just to hold him in place so he doesn't move. Then we're going to use a little palette knife here. This stuff is fairly wet. I don't want a perfect edged texture, so I'm going to stay to one side and then make it. I'm going to leave it a little bit open on the other side, so not a complete image. So I'm just scraping it across. You have to be really careful when you have stencils that have super detail. Don't catch your palette knife on any of those edges, because you can actually bend them up. That's not really what you want to do. I'm just scraping the excess off the top. Now my stencil happens to be blue because I've used it with Copic markers. You can actually clean it off with their blending solution, but I'm kind of lazy, so I didn't bother. So there's our first one. I'm going to carefully remove tape here holding my stencil in place. Lifting carefully. There we go. See what I mean about that edge? It's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. That's kind of what I was looking for. All right, I'm going to do my other three, and then we're going to go on to the next step. Now I'm going to actually take this to the sink and give it a wash. I just use my fingers ever so slightly to get off the excess when cleaning this. Okay, and clean it right away so that you can use it for your other mediums. For a little added sparkle, take some glitter while your texture paste is wet and sprinkle it all over, and some of those pieces will actually get stuck in the texture paste. Great way to add a little bit of sparkle to your cards. So now we're going to be coloring our image. So if you want to just grab some delightful drink and join me for some coloring, I'm going to speed it up for you. I'll include all the colors up in the top left hand corner here for you. Hope you enjoy. There we go. Our colored image. We even have a little bit of gold in there. So I'm going to finish off my other 3 images and I'll fussy cut this out and we'll start assembling our card. So I colored up all of my little globes. They're all ready to go. They have lots of sparkle on them. I used Winkostella just to give them added sparkle. Now we're going to do our card fronts. Our panels are now dry. They're shiny and textured, but there's no color, so it's just a tone on tone. And we're going to use some fun kind of candy cane washi tape here. And I'm just going to put a little bit across the top. And another piece across the bottom. I'm going to put lots of adhesive on these panels here because they are a little bit warped due to the moisture of the texture paste. Don't be afraid to use lots of adhesive. And we're going to put this on the right way first of all. And I want a little bit of my candy cane showing, so things don't have to be straight. Remember, it's a little cockeyed, but it's supposed to be that way. Next, we want to put on our little globe here, but I want to put a little sentiment tag, so we're going to make that. I've just pulled some real red cardstock, and I've got my Versamark ink pad. I've also got the little Be Merry stamp from the Merry Littles holiday stamp set. I've already taken my powder tool to this piece of cardstock, so the static cling is gone when I add my embossing powder. Pull in a scrap piece of paper here, just a detail white embossing powder from Stampendous. flicking off the excess. There we go. I'll just set this aside and put it back in the bottle. Bring in my heat tool. Always make sure that your heat tool warms up at least 15 to 20 seconds before you apply it to your project. It just ensures that it's at a nice hot temperature and makes the embossing process go quickly. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, it's done. I'm just going to trim it down. Sorry, I'm going to be off screen here for a second. Trim this down to a little strip of paper, like such. And we're going to make a banner cut end. So I'm going to judge where I think the center is. Cut to that cut mark. Do the same from the other corner. It always gives you a nice V cut. Okay. Before we adhere everything down, I'm going to add a little adhesive to the back of our globe. And I'm going to take some gold thread. Whoa! Apparently I'm already going fishing. And if you take your thread and wrap it around 2 or 3 fingers, I'm going to take 3. And we're going to make what I like to call a messy nest. So, got it wrapped around my fingers. This is where the adhesive comes in on the back. It's going to hold the threads in place. And of course, if you don't press it in too hard, you can get a little play on your thread bits here. And of course, you're only going to see the ones that come out the sides. So it's just a touch more gold to match the gold on the bottom of the globe. And this should be sticky enough. I'm not worried about the overlap of the thread. I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of our tag. And I'm going to press the whole thing. There we go. And I adjusted the angle of that a little bit. And there we go. Fairly simple card. Very limited supplies and lots of fun. Thanks for joining me today for my card. I hope you're enjoying my series. I hope to bring you more. Thanks. Have a great day, guys.